It's all about money in the Philippines, how you can be smarter, wiser, and hang on to more of your money.
And stick around because we are going to share some common scams here in the Philippines.
There's 10 of them right here.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel, Fly Me to the Philippines.
It's 2025, Chrissy, and it's a year that everybody watching should make a promise. They should all do better with their money. They should try and make more money or hold on to the money they have. And they should stick around, Chrissy, because at the end, I'm going to talk about how not to get ripped off when you land. You know, when you land in Cebu City or NAIA Manila, you don't want to get the wrong transportation for the wrong price, and you don't want the wrong money exchange. So stick around for that. I'll give my money tips and my transportation tips. What does it say on your shirt?
You can read it.
You can make it happen. 2025. Come to the Philippines. There are so many stories, and we've met so many men. And it is so easy, Chrissy, for men to kind of get wrapped up and over enthusiastic. So what you have here in this cup, Chrissy, are 10 ways that you can be prepared before you start, or if you're already in process, to set some boundaries, put some fence posts around your financial well-being, and how not to become a victim, and how to have a good mindset. What do we have here first?
Maintain financial privacy.
Chrissy, one of the first mistakes people make when they do online dating is they create like an avatar. So they create a rich guy avatar. They, you know, they have a BMW and it's in front of a manicured yard and $1 million home. Right away, you're signaling, you're leading with your money. You are not keeping your financial privacy. It's a little bit early to be sharing that information. So remember, be private.
Don't be a frontliner.
Now, Chrissy, wait a sec. Let's ask you. You met other men before me online. You never met them in person. Did some of these men lead with their money?
Yeah, somebody asked me if I am willing to be with them with another woman because he can't afford anyway. And he's like telling me how much money he gets.
Wait, say that again. Somebody asked you if you would be in a threesome?
Not a threesome, but if I am interested to live with him with other women, you know,
multiple
women.
Because he has so much money.
Because he got so much money, and for me, maybe the money part wasn't a red flag, but for inviting me for a multiple relationship is the red flag.
What about other? This is a very unusual situation.
Yeah.
What about the regular run-of-the-mill men you ran into?
Well, you know, it's kind of like, it's too much when you see a man that is like, you know, showing all the expensive stuff online.
It can be a turnoff.
Yeah, it's a little bit a turn off.
And some of the women you know might be turned on by it.
Maybe if those women are really looking for someone that are rich. Yeah, but it's not just for an ordinary or real woman. You can get an eyes, you know, a look, but also you will be the frontliner victim of the scammers.
Sure, you're like you're wearing a sign that says "Come get me."
Yeah.
Harvest me.
Okay, number 2. We don't have trash can here.
Yeah. Avoid discussing wealth in conversation. So, in addition to not showing it in your, fine pieces of art and Rolex watches, don't discuss it in your conversation. The girl might ask you, you know, all girls want to know, what do you do for a living? So that's the first hint. Do you own a house? You know, here we're on a video chat, walk me around your house, show me all your valuable possessions. You know, try not to discuss money. There's some things you can't avoid, and you are who you are, but for as long as you can, until you get to know the person, try to avoid showing off, and certainly don't get into involved conversations with money.
You know, I want to share this, but a real Filipina, when they go online and they start to make a good connection with the men, we are shy to ask about money. You know, we are shy to ask, what do you do for a living? Because I don't think I asked you. We will wait until the man will open up what they do for a living. Right. We don't really ask about monetary topics because that's, for us, it could be a turn off to a man. Use trustworthy dating platform.
Yeah, this is a challenge.
Yeah, I think when you use the word trustworthy, I think it's very hard to find for a dating platform. But if you will say proven and tested, where there are a lot of successful relationships from that platform, I think that's what you can try.
Because even the website we met on, there could, I've heard estimates of 85%. I've seen estimates of 50% unreliable, untrustworthy profiles.
Next.
Okay. Learn to recognize red flags. This is, you know,
Are you colorblind?
yeah, are you don't be colorblind. You know, Chrissy, we do some consulting, and Chrissy, you do some social media research for some of the clients. And to us, you know, because we've been at it a while, we see these red flags from a mile away, and it's hard. People are so emotionally invested. You know, if you have a friend and they're about to make a foolish mistake, it's so easy for you to recognize the caution and the red flags. But for them, they're a little bit blinded. They're in the moment. There's lust or love in their heart, and they have a hard time. But there are some really obvious red flags. People too interested in your money, and needing money, things like people who live in nice accommodations, but just months ago maybe they lived in a regular province house, and all of a sudden, have they been on vacation with other people recently? Have they been in 5-star resorts recently? There are red flags. You have to really, really pay attention. So trust but verify.
Yeah, I think speaking of experience and mistakes from the past, I think the more you got failed into relationship online, I think the more likely you can detect red flags.
Chrissy, we have a video on, you know, running the obstacle course and knowing how to recognize red flags and making it through the stages of the obstacle course is critical. You have to have a need to have list, a nice to have list, and a deal breaker list. And red flags should violate your deal breaker list. Anybody who needs your money should violate your deal breaker list. Okay, next. Okay, not next. Go.
Okay, but if you can spot like some red flags in a person, it doesn't mean that she's a scammer already. Like, you know, for us, we can consider ourselves to be in a successful relationship now because we got married. But honestly, did you see any red flag from me when you first met me?
Well, I wouldn't call them red flags, but in our case, I was concerned that I had to compete. You know, there's such a surplus of beautiful women here. You're the guy, you're the man, you're the most valuable commodity. You should be able to pull one off the shelf. Well, when I met Chrissy, I was like, uh-oh, this woman's special, and I better get my A game going. So it wasn't really a red flag, but it was an area of concern. Like, I better put my best foot forward, or someone else will.
Yeah. Do you want to know what's the red flag? Yeah, the red flag I've seen from you is that your plan is for us to tour around the Philippines, but you need to go back to USA after that. So I was like, okay, I think, you know, but that was my red flag slash fear, you know, because sometimes your fear can create the vision as red, but it's not really red, right? Next is conduct background research.
And I can't tell you this enough. You have to find their Facebook pages. Filipinas use Facebook more than any other country on the planet. The average Filipina has 750 to 5,000 friends. It's just critical that you find their real Facebook page before you overcommit. Find their TikTok page, see if they've been to resorts, see if they're getting flowers on Valentine's Day from other men, see if they're really married, see if they really have one child or 3 children. There's a lot. And Chrissy, you've looked at Facebook pages for clients and
your
and what
Facebook
percentage
page.
of the time? Yeah, you looked at mine. What percentage of the time when you look at a Facebook page for a man online do you find trouble?
Let's say 80%.
Yeah, there's a lot of trouble we run into.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Set clear boundaries early.
Clear boundaries early. Now, Chrissy, you know, I started looking online like 7 years ago, and I gave up after 3 weeks the first time, and I sent $100 to a woman in Dumaguete. I've told the story on another video. I didn't set clear boundaries. After that, I said, right away when I met you, you need to know, I follow the golden rule. I will never send money unless I've met you. What do you think when I said that? Was I a less desirable candidate?
I think you were smart.
Okay, you respected it.
Yes, of course.
And if a man is right from the get-go saying, hey, you know, listen, I'm going to get you an apartment and, you know, let me send you $100. We seem to be hitting it off. Right away he wants to leave with his money. Are you thinking he's like a fool?
Well, you know, if he used it to the right Filipina, to the real Filipina, even he haven't met her yet, then he would be lucky because he lived with his money, but it's in the right Filipina. But most likely, those people who will lead their money will get into trouble with a scammer.
You really want to determine if the person likes you for you and not your money. The money will get in the way of finding out if there's a real romantic connection.
Well, I really believe that a loveless relationship, even if you got a lot of money, will never be
A lasting relationship.
lasting relationship.
Yeah.
And it's, proven by some other people. And, I've witnessed a lot of couples, they don't have money, but they love each other so much, and then they lasted longer.
It's important that you set boundaries, because otherwise you're going to have a more difficult time dealing with some of these things in the wine glass here, the next 10 things. And these are typical and common scams you're going to run into trying to date in the Philippines. Let's see what we got.
Okay, let's see. First is visa and travel scams.
Visa and travel scams. It's amazing to me how many women tell the men to send money for an airline ticket. They have a visa to come to the United States. It's astounding, because Chrissy's my wife, and for men like myself who got married here in the Philippines, when we apply for a travel visa to the United States, there is a 26% approval percentage. It's
For a tourist visa for me.
when you meet an overseas foreign worker, or you meet somebody here in the Philippines and she says, I have a visa to travel to the United States, send me the airline money. Really? And other types of, help me get the visa, send me money for, this is a real red flag. All right, what else you got, Chrissy? Fake pregnancy claim.
She's pregnant, but he's not the father, or she's not really pregnant?
She's not really pregnant. Because you could say you're pregnant and you're not showing yet. You need money. You're now the expected, and a lot of men will take responsibility. They'll step right up. You're okay. You're pregnant, and she just gets a pregnancy test and shows them a picture, and it says positive. It's not hers. And 2-3 months later, after she's collected clothing and money and she's in an apartment, she lost the baby.
Miscarriage.
Yeah. So be careful.
Okay, next. Romance syndicates.
Romance syndicates. You've heard about this. There are these large call centers where romance scam syndicates are in operation. They are out to take your money. Now, the good news is they're a little clumsy, and they come at you hard and fast, and they ask for ridiculous money pretty quick. So most people, unless they're very naive, will not fall for them. So be careful. Don't break the golden rule. Sob story scams. Well, we call this the short con.
It's sob stories.
I have a sewing shop and my sewing machine broke, and I need $164.
I was just fired from my job.
Yeah.
I have 2 kids to feed.
My son was in an accident. He fell on his head. Before, they lived fine. They survived to be 30 years old before they met you. And then 2 weeks after they meet you, if you don't come up with money, their life cannot go forward. Sob story scams.
Yeah. Next is fake online profiles.
Fake online profiles. When you see the Ukrainian woman on a Philippine dating site, when you see the half Filipino woman, when you see the supermodel, be aware many of these images are not really who they say.
Yeah.
And then they're using filters, and the image that's the worst looking picture is almost always what you'll see when you video chat. So proceed with caution. Never really get very far down the road without video chatting, and be prepared to video chat to understand who you're really talking to.
Yeah, you know what, for you to know if the person behind this camera is real person, is the key really there is to video call for like at least 10 minutes. And also to be aware, there are a lot of dummy accounts right now, especially in online, that they are using pictures from Facebook.
Gold digger schemes. So, there's the sob story, but then there's the gold digger scheme. Somebody who really wants an apartment, wants to get the apartment set up before you arrive, wants to buy appliances, there's no furniture, there's no Barco lounger, no lazy boy, no big screen TV. You're going to be so miserable in this hot, stinky Philippines, you better get the air conditioner. There's lots of schemes. I'll meet you in Manila, or I'll meet you in El Nido, let's get the resort. You got to be careful about some of the schemes that potential partners are going to come up with, And you could have crypto schemes, you could have furniture, you could have business investments. There could be many, many schemes. They all revolve around the gold.
Yeah. So beware of those who are holding a shovel with red handle. Blackmail and extortion.
Blackmail and extortion. You know, Chrissy, we did this video on sextortion, and there's this whole racket where the people asked to video chat. You ask them to video. They contact you on Facebook typically. So they go through the corporate executive list, and they're looking for real wholesome family men, married men. And before they contact you, they copy all of your Facebook friends, and now they know the name of everybody that's important to you. And then they suggest that you video chat. And when you turn on the video chat, they're extremely provocative. And before you know it, occasionally a man will get carried away, and now you get extorted if they save the copy of their video, and you're starting to do things that you wouldn't want people to see, and they threaten to call your boss, who's your Facebook friend, your wife, her sister, your in-laws, and men are being asked for money in these types of schemes. So that's the most common one you got to watch out for.
Yeah, but you know what? Somebody have said that if you will unfortunately be a victim of that, don't ever send money and they will just stop. Next is emergency money requests.
Emergency money requests. The dog is in the vet. The kid fell and broke his neck. Grandma's in the house. These are, instead of a sob story, a sob story is, I have no food to eat and I live in a terrible...
This one is like
a real emergency.
Emergency.
Quick. Investment scams. A lot of money requests are camouflaged as investment scams or too good to be true money-making opportunities. If you come out of pocket for $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, you're going to get cryptocurrency worth more. You're going to get product worth more. It's a business opportunity that went sideways. They need your help, and it's an investment scam. When you feel the urge to throw money, to chase with money, to lose all your boundaries, and to ignore the red flags, it will rarely end well. And why men do that, it's hard to say, except that they're men, they have eyeballs, they've been out of the game for a long time. I promised you I would tell you how to get transportation out of the airports. I personally find no problem with flying into NAIA Manila Airport. I like it for one reason. You can take a taxi on the meter right to Makati for roughly 300 pesos, and it's about a 10-minute drive most times of the day. You can also get a Grab, which will cost a little bit more, and you might get lucky and get a nicer car. In Cebu City, I would get a Grab, but if you can't get a Grab, even in Manila, it has to say metered taxi. You have to make sure the taxi driver agrees to turn on the meter. For me personally, for Christy and I, we take white taxis on the meter everywhere we go, but I have lots of people I know that love the Grab car, and you don't have to, the driver can find the location because you put it in the app.
Yeah.
Now, in Cebu City, there are some hotels right by the airport, the Waterfront Hotel near the airport, very expensive, good hotel. The traffic is pretty lousy and intense, and you're going to spend an hour and about $16, $17. If you get a Grab in Cebu City, you'll get a nicer car typically, and it's a long ride, and that might be worth $2 or $3 extra. At NAIA, I just don't think it's worth it. You're going to walk out of baggage. You're going to get you're going to go to the kiosk and tell him where you're going. He'll write a little carbon copy chit so he knows where he sent a taxi. You're going to give that to the driver. He's going to turn on his meter. That's it. You're there in 10 minutes. It's so easy. Try and stay near Legazpi Street and the Greenbelt Mall so you won't have to take any more transportation in Makati. BGC is about 100 pesos more and about 7 minutes further by taxi. Also pretty easy to get to. Now, when you come out of the airport, let's talk money real quick. I say take $100 and get it exchanged even before you come to the Philippines, but only 100 because you'll lose about 7% doing it that way at Wells Fargo or Bank of America. When you come out of the airport, you're going to want to hit an ATM machine. Now, there's going to be two very beautiful women in a fancy schmancy money exchange kiosk. Do not use it, okay? Bypass that. Only if you have money that you're willing to donate, where you want to get your money exchanged. The next thing you're going to see quite often is an ATM machine that's not owned by a bank. It's just a company that makes money putting
Just
an
say ATM.
just ATM. It just says ATM, but it doesn't say Bank of the Philippines, Metro Bank, BDO. It doesn't have the word bank. And they will pay high rent to make sure that's the first one you see. And all over town, you'll see these machines in real touristy places. This company will pay stupid rent to make sure before you get to a bank ATM, you'll run into their ATM, and people will be in line, and you'll lose a lot of money at these machines. Don't use them. The real banks, they don't want to pay high rent in the airport, and they're tucked away around the corner. You got to ask a security guard, where's the ATM machine? And there they'll be, and just go ahead and take your, and here in the Philippines, it's typically 10,000 pesos maximum. Now, you can use it twice, and you can get 20,000 that way. Sometimes China Bank will give 20. In the big city, Manila, some of the banks will give more money, but typically all over the Philippines, 10,000 pesos. If you have an eSIM, if you're here for a short time, you might just want to get an eSIM, and off you go. If you want to get a SIM card, Smart or Globe, it's about 25 US dollars. It'll get you a lot of data, and you'll get everything you need. They'll register your password. So those are ways not to leave money. If you would like Chrissy and I to help in your efforts to find success here in the Philippines, just go ahead and email us.
Send us a message at flymetothephilippines@gmail.com, and we will right away respond to your messages.
What about you? What's your New Year's resolution?
Are you gonna tell your
I'm not
New
sure.
Year's
I'm gonna bait
resolution?
you into telling yours, I think.
Okay, my New Year's resolution is stick around.
Till next time, from Fly Me to the Philippines.
See you in our next video.